I want people to guess what she had.
Can you see? Oh no.
チョコレートついてるよ。
Oh yeah. Konnichiwa everyone! I know this is not the typical content that we put up on our channel, but I could not show you guys this mountain. So this mountain is one of the most famous mountains in Japan, especially amongst avid hikers. It's gonna be spectacular. So right now, we're at the trailhead getting ready to climb this mountain. Here we go. My name is Hannah and this is Whatchuhanado, Shirouma dake. Woo! There are 3 trailheads to Shirouma dake. We are taking the Sarukura Trail going up through the Daisekkei or Big Snow Valley, and then taking the Tsugaike Pond route going down. We started our hike at an elevation of 1,230 meters, making the elevation gain a total of 1,702 meters to the summit. It's a lot to climb, 300 plus meters more than climbing to the summit of Mount Fuji from the 5th station. Shirouma dake, or Mount Shirouma, like I said, is one of the most famous mountains amongst avid hikers here in Japan, and it stands tall at 2,932 meters. His father calls it the Harajuku of mountains, but it is formally nicknamed the Jewel Box of Alpine plants. Some people even get married on Shirouma dake. Oh, yay! Wow! Otsukare-san, yokoso Daisekkei. Otsukare-san is like cheers for good work, and then yokoso is welcome, and then Daisekkei just means big snow valley. So we just reached the part where we're gonna have to climb the snow. I'm a little nervous, but I think it's gonna be okay. So we're gonna climb a little bit more, and then from that area over there, we're gonna put on our eisen or crampons, and then we're gonna hike up the snow. I'm actually really liking it here because it's a lot cooler, because it was pretty hot down there if you weren't in the shade, so this is great. Some of the snow had already melted in the lower parts, so we had to climb a little bit further before getting to the Daisekkei, or Big Snow Valley. It took us about another 15 minutes or so to get to that part where we could actually see and then enter the passageway in the snow. It begins. Just hit the snowy part, so we're gonna put on our crampons here before going up. Right, let's go. Oh, ooh, wow. めっちゃ涼しいここ。
Okay.
The Daisekkei is actually a really cool part of the route. The snow gathers and stays here the whole year round. It gets really hot and humid in Japan during summer, so this area is definitely giving me an escape from that. We're a little bit more than halfway right now, and then we have that more to go. It's pretty deceptive. I felt like it was going to be short, but it's not that short. I'm totally okay though.
Is it hard?
I wouldn't say it's like super duper hard, but it's not super duper easy.
Okay, let's go.
The Daisekkei may look easy, but in some areas can get a little steep, so please do make sure you wear crampons or at least chain spikes.
もうちょっと. You made it.
I made it.
You beat Daisekkei.
Yes. We took a bit of a rest after the Daisekkei because we heard that the hard part was just about to start. And yeah, it was definitely the hard part. Some parts got really steep and really narrow. I don't know if you can notice, but I am tiny. I am only 157 centimeters or 5'2", so my short legs were quite the disadvantage. Despite the difficulty though, it was a pretty spectacular experience. The terrain was very different, and we had to go through all of these big, beautiful boulders and waterfalls and streams, among other things. Like where the snow ends, and it was a little insane to think that that was what was under the ice and snow that we had climbed earlier. Wow.
We've watched multiple videos of people hiking up Shirouma, and a lot of them don't film this part, and I can understand why. It's just a lot of loose stones, big boulders, and it's wet too, so you risk slipping. So I definitely understand why they did not put this in their videos. I deserve a massage after.
Anyway, we just pushed through. We kept climbing and climbing at my pace, which is a very, very, very slow pace because I like to save my energy for harder parts. Eventually, we got to...
Okay, so right over there is an evacuation lodge. In case you get lost, you can go over there. It's on the map too, so it's a good marker to know where you are on the trail.
Earlier in the video, I told you that Shirouma is nicknamed the jewel box of alpine plants, and I could see why. We've climbed about 19 different mountains in total here in Japan, and I have never seen this much variety of plants and wildflowers on a mountain before. The climb is stunning. The camera can't really capture the beauty of what I was seeing before me, so I hope these shots can give you a little glimpse of what I see. The snow, the boulders, the plants, the wildflowers, the water. Fantastic. I love this trail. After the hardest part, even though it was still somewhat a hard hike up, I was distracted by everything I was seeing. It was cool and misty and foggy, and everything was picture perfect. And then it started raining.
Joy.
Oh my gosh.
Just to show you how quickly weather can change in the mountains. Earlier it was sunny, now it's rainy.
So we quickly put on our rain gear and kept on climbing. And then finally...
Almost.
We can see it from here. Just a little bit more. Ganbarimasu. The sky is clearing up a little bit. Yay, we're finally here! Yeah, so this is where we'll be staying tonight. We actually wanted to stay at Shirouma Zanso, which is right over there. But due to the rising number of cases of Miss Rona, they decided to close the mountain lodge for now. So we're gonna take a rest first. Our much needed break. Right now we're currently at an elevation of 2,719 meters, and the peak is at around 2,900 meters. So we'll see. It depends on the weather. If it gets better, maybe we'll summit. If not, it's okay. We have tomorrow to go see Shirouma. We'll just take a rest for today.
Chōjō Shukusha wasn't our first choice since we heard that Shirouma Zanso is one of the best mountain lodges in Japan, but we were pleasantly surprised. It's not a small lodge at all, as they can house up to around 1,000 people. They have private rooms, semi-shared spaces, tent spaces, and 2 mess halls. The toilets were super clean, didn't smell at all, and had tissue paper too. It's 9,000 yen per night without meals, 13,000 yen a night with dinner and breakfast, and then 2,000 yen per person if you want to rent a tent space.
Finally in our little space we get to rest, and I'm going to treat myself to some snacks. Not sure what I'm going to eat yet, but I am feeling maybe either chocolate or chips. We're going to rest a little bit and then check the weather if we can go out today or just rest for the rest of the day. We are so hungry. We haven't eaten anything today. So maybe the next time I see you, it will be for dinner.
They served dinner buffet style. They had a ton of options for us to choose from, so naturally, I just put a little bit of everything on my plate and went from there. We were allowed to get more food, so I had to try everything and then go back for the ones I really enjoyed. I got bulgogi, shishito pepper tempura, ham croquettes, sautéed spinach, kimpira, vegetables cooked in black vinegar, namul, bibimbap, rice, miso soup, and green tea. And this is what everything looked like together. Itadakimasu. I started with the spinach, and it was so good. Honestly, laid out buffet style, it didn't really look delicious, but I was so wrong. Next I tried the namul, a Korean dish, and this was yummy too. Then I had the kimpira. I loved this as well. I could really taste that burdock root. Next up was the vegetable dish cooked in black vinegar. At this point, I was just so surprised that everything was so good. Ham croquette. Soft, fluffy, scrumptious. Another Korean dish, bibimbap. This was just okay. Everything can't be super delicious, right? Then I had the bulgogi, and it was the best. Perfectly savory and sweet. Last but not least, my favorite, shishito pepper tempura. I think my face said it all. It was amazing. This whole meal was absolutely delicious. Arguably the best food I've ever had on a mountain lodge before. It was so flavorful and tasty. Went in for some seconds and a bit of dessert. That's daigakuimo, which is sweet potato cooked in brown sugar, and a bite-sized moist chocolate cake. The sweet potato was, of course, yummy, crispy outside and so soft and mushy inside. And the chocolate cake was also good. Not the best, but good. Washed everything down with green tea, and gochisousama deshita. So yeah, I'm glad we ended up staying at Chōjō Shukusha, or I would have never been able to eat that meal. 11 out of 10! After dinner, we just decided to go around the lodge and enjoy the view. We even saw a raicho, or thunderbird, Japan's mountain bird. So cute! Here are some views from day 1. On day 2, we will finally get to show you the summit of Shirouma since the route will be taking us through the peak. I will also be talking more about the whole experience in the next video. As always, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, click like down below, and if you want to see more content about Japan, you know what to do. So until next time, jane, and see you at the peak!